Hey, and welcome back to the Stage Your Boss channel. Today I am bringing you two of my incredible mastermind clients in today's client spotlight episode. So we record these interviews over in our Facebook group, and I want to bring them here to YouTube as well, because if you're not joining us in that Facebook group, then you're missing out on these incredible women's stories. We're interviewing our two clients, Beth and Mel, who have been with us from the very start, the conception of their business. They had this sort of interior account, didn't know what to do with it, found me via Facebook, found Stage Your Boss, and decided to launch their home staging business, joining us in our first program, Staging Business Secrets, and then ultimately the Mastermind. Since then, they've both been able to leave their 9-to-5 careers in corporate. They have taken the reins with this business, employed Mel's parents, and scaled it all the way to $40,000 a month. However, since joining us in the Mastermind, they've now scaled to a record £70,000 per month in revenue. And I just cannot wait to see where they take this next, all the way to 7 figures. So this is a story you have to hear. You have to hear their interview. I just love them. I love their ethos. I love the family business aspect, but I also love where they're scaling this to with building more of a team. So without further ado, let's dive into the interview now. So ladies, I'm excited to dive into your journey, and I love it as well because you are a duo, you're a couple, you're business partners, which I just think so unique and special. Give me in one word what it's like working with your partner. Don't say it at the same time. Mel, you go first, and then Beth, you're next.
I'm going to say it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, I think I'll say supportive.
Could have been worse. Something like that.
They were very kind words to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me what you really think later on after the call. But no, I think you guys are such like an incredible, couple, but also business partners. And I think that's really unique. Not many people could work with their life partner, but let's dive into that a little bit later. I want to know, first of all, and I'm sure our audience does, like, where were you before all this? Like, where were you before Stage Your Boss? What did you both do? And where did the idea of the home staging business come from? And like, what was sort of the inspiration to start?
Yeah, so it wasn't that long ago. So we're only talking a couple of years ago. So previously we were both in medical devices. So they were both very demanding, fast-paced jobs, long days, long hours. But obviously work-life balance wasn't there. We didn't see each other as often as we'd like. And it was all for someone else. You know, it wasn't for ourselves. It wasn't for our business. It was for somebody else's business. But that idea just didn't sit very well with us. You know, we always wanted to do something more. And I've always had an interest in interior. I love all things styling, home, everything like that. And Beth, you always loved the idea of us having a business together.
Yeah, so you kind of started on an Instagram for our house, didn't you?
Yeah.
And it kind of got thousands of followers, and it did really, really well. I was like, why are we not doing something about this? And we didn't really know a lot about home staging or property staging, so kind of did a bit of research around it. And then for a long time, just kind of sat there and went, well, that's what we want to do. And nothing happened. And then it was over Christmas, I think, it was the 5-day challenge that came up. It just popped up on my Facebook. I was like, that's it. That's what we're going to do. And it kind of started from there.
I love that. And I feel like there's so many like people can relate to this. Like, you had the idea, but you didn't start it right away. Yeah. Do you regret not starting it sooner, or do you feel like it in the end came at the right time?
Oh no, I think we should have done it sooner.
Yeah, me too. It's not a single day that goes by where we regret, you know, what we've done and taking a leap and everything like that. It's just served us so much, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I love that. And I remember I received a message from you, Beth, and it was like 5 months into your journey, you guys had like done like 50K or something, but you were still working your 9-to-5 and doing this on the weekends, which blows my mind, like in corporate 9-to-5, building this on the side. How would you say you guys managed that? Like, was it hard? Did you find it easy to get up early, late nights, weekends? Tell me, what was that like?
Oh, it was a mad couple of months. It was
Yeah,
very
it was
stressful. Like I say, we already had kind of demanding jobs anyway. So then adding this on top of that, it was a little bit of a catalyst, wasn't it? But I would say that's what pushed us. We realised very quickly this isn't going to work. We need to put our all into this to get to where we want to get to. But yeah, right at the start, we'd be sat in the kitchen building bedside tables, on the kitchen worktops. We'd be hiring vans from the local van rental place just to get, to and from every single job.
Yeah.
There really were lots of steps that we'd have to overcome. And it's only that we say it quite regularly to ourselves. We look back at where we've come from and we're just like, I don't know how we did that. I don't know how we balanced it. I don't know how we managed it. But it just shows you how far you come, and everyone has to start with these little baby steps to get to, where they are.
We were gonna burn out though really quickly. So yeah, it was kind of like, I think you've said it before, Liv, kind of we had to just do it and go for it and go, it's got to work now, because we've still got the mortgage to pay and we've still got 2 dogs to feed, so it's got to work.
Yeah, 100%. I call it like holding your feet to the fire. Like, you just have to then make it work. And it's often good making that leap, because I think when you've got your 9 to 5 as that like safety blanket, then it's like, oh, this is kind of a hobby, or I'm doing this on the side. But when you leave, it's like, right, shit, I really need to make this work now. What was that like? Did you guys do like a phased leave? Did one of you leave first? Did you both just be like, we're gone, I quit? What did you
So it was Mel left first, didn't you? Like pretty soon, just completely left. And then we took your dad as well pretty soon after to kind of help with the van loading and driving and kind of doing all that side of things. And then I carried on my job for a while, but then it was only a couple of months after that I went part-time at my job. So kind of as soon as I'd done one step, it was like, okay, everything's still all right. We'll kind of quickly do the rest.
A lot of your listeners, they'll be familiar with the leap of faith, or they'll become familiar with the leap of faith, and it's absolutely terrifying, but we just have to immerse ourselves in it. We have to put our all into it to progress it. We were at that sticking point where we thought, what, we have to go for this. And like I say, luckily we've never looked back.
I love that. I totally know the feeling. I mean, I didn't have to leave a 9 to 5 because this is kind of what I've always done, but I've seen so many people go through that. Was it for you, like, was there a job that you got, like a property to stage, or was there a moment, or was it just like the gradual build-up of success?
I think it was kind of gradual, wasn't it? And I remember it really well. It was one of the last weekends before we said, right, Mel, you need to leave your job, because we started doing it, like you said, Saturday, Sunday, doing all the rest of it and the admin through the week. And we were not getting on. We were arguing all the time because it was so stressful and everything was so like jam-packed. And we're just like, no, we can't do this anymore. No, we just got to leave.
Yeah, and then like I say, we got our first opportunity through. Obviously, having nothing behind us, no portfolio, nothing. And we thought, we have to start somewhere. Everyone has to start somewhere. Let's just go for it.
Before you left, yeah.
And it's a bit like, what you've always said, you never forget your first one. And we remember it so clearly, everything, how kind of unprepared we felt, but thought we need to do it. From actually completing the job, looking back, we were so proud of, how it did turn out. But yeah, it feels a long time ago.
I think looking back now at how many we are doing, like you said, we've had kind of a really good month. Looking back at how many we're doing whilst we're working our 9 to 5, maybe 4 or 5 a month, to where we've actually got to now, being able to be completely in it.
It wasn't sustainable, was it? Like you say, 4 or 5 a month. It just wasn't sustainable.
I love that. I love that so much. And now you guys are like, we've been speaking about this in the mastermind, you're consistently hitting like 40K months. I don't want to say without trying, because obviously you work really hard, but like it's consistently coming in. You've built that system in place. What is like your main, for everyone listening, what main business do you do? Is it SAs, HMOs, stage for sale? What is the main sort of income source?
Yeah, you go.
It's predominantly service accommodations, HMOs. We've got a lot of repeat business, word of mouth. We feel like we've established our kind of services now with certain people in the community. So obviously, to go by word of mouth, that's kind of a testament to the services that we offer. We put a lot of pride into what we do. And yes, we've been quite lucky in that respect, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and what I love about like the staging that you guys do and the furniture packs and everything that you work on is that I would say that your look is like really unique. Like I would say that you couldn't look at a stage that you've done and a stage that my company's done and think it's the same, because you've added like your own spin, right? Was that important to you from the start that you were going to have this unique look?
Yeah, definitely. I think from the beginning, kind of we've added different bits to it, and really, well, it's you. I'm not saying me. I don't do the creative side of it. But kind of, yeah, that really works on it to make it how we like to look. And then, you know, our house now, we do a bit of painting and things in some of the essay setups that we do. And our house is now completely painted in the same like patterns and stuff that we do. So, yeah.
It's taking little points and kind of running with it. So colour, that's a big thing. Yeah. At the end of the day, there are so many beautiful properties listed, whether it's on Airbnb, you know, whatever platform, you kind of have to get your work standing out. And it's how do you do that when there are so many great, you know, people out there in businesses? Yeah. So to us, it's just finding the little gems that we can kind of run with, like I say, whether it's colour, painting, wallpaper, just that little extra touch where we can really put our stamp on it. And like Beth said, yeah, it's continuing into our house. Every time I see a bare wall in the house, I'm like, oh, let's paint it. So yeah, quite dangerous.
I love that. And I think that's totally unique. You guys are doing like, you know, walls painted and stuff, because it's not something I necessarily teach that much. But I think that's definitely a way that you've added like your own signature look. And of course, it ties in with the name of the company, Signature Property Stagers, which I love. But do you not ever find that? So I used to have all my staging kit in my house as well. Like if I've seen a new cushion, I was like, that's not going in staging. That's going into my living room. But now I'm just like so done looking at the staging stuff. I'm like, I want something completely different to what I do every day. I don't want my house to look like any of the staging. You can look at so many of them each day, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a bit like that, definitely. You still love it, don't you? But yeah.
I know that day will come. I'll have to change all the walls again.
Well, that's the thing. You guys work so well together, right? Mel, you're like more the creative side, and Beth, you're more like the operations. Did that happen naturally? Did you guys sit down and have a conversation about these are your roles, these are mine? How did that come about?
It's kind of been very natural, to be fair. I think we've always brought different elements to the table, which is why I think the business has worked the way it's working. You know, obviously to be doing this and be in a relationship, a lot of people might say, I don't know how you do it, but I think that's why we do it. We bring different things to the table. So, like, you know, I love interior. Beth's really like business analytically driven and putting the two together. It just works. It just works. Yeah. I think if we were both very similar, it wouldn't work.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I do all the spreadsheets whilst Mel's doing the shopping, and it works.
I love that. You really remind me of like my mom and I's partnership. I think it's, if you had two of the exact same people in a business, I think it would just be like a lot of clashing. And whilst we're very similar in so many ways, we definitely have like our unique sort of skills. Like I don't like to be on camera, but it's sort of the role that I've fallen into. Whereas my mom's probably more on like Beth's side, like more of the operations and stuff. So I love that. And you work with your family as well, right? As do I. What is that like? So you've got like a relationship, you're a couple, then you add family in, then your business partnership. There's so many dynamics going on.
Honestly, I think if someone would have said to me at the start of the year, you're going to employ your mum and dad, I would absolutely have laughed. But yeah, I employ my mum and dad, and it just works. Obviously, you know, they've got the same passion for the business as we have. But also it's a little bit of a safety net in the sense that when we took them both on, that was always another gamble in itself, another risk, another leap of faith. But with it being family, we always had that comfort blanket of knowing if something didn't quite work or go to plan, we could have those conversations with them, knowing that they'd be fully, you know, supportive of whichever way the business may have gone. Luckily, you know, it's only gone in one direction, which is a positive direction, but having them on board in that sense as family, that's always been a little benefit. And like I say, they bring great things to the table. You know,
it's really nice having them,
one of the van drivers, you know, mum's also into her shopping, the creative side, so bringing them both on board, getting them stuck in, it really helps.
I don't think your dad likes having your mum now, because when we send her out doing the shopping for bits, she always comes home with stuff for herself, doesn't she?
I think that's where I get it from. I get it from my mum.
She got it from her mama. Yeah, I love that. I think that's such actually a unique perspective. I thought you shared there, Mel. Like, you know, if things went downhill, you could have that conversation. Like, I've hired a few members of my family over the years. Some of them still don't work for me anymore, and I guess that kind of explains it. But yeah, I feel like when I worked with my family, I felt really it was even harder to have those conversations because they were family. But maybe it's because, you know, they weren't my mom. Like, I can have any conversation with my mom, but I love that. And I think that's probably one of your unique selling points, that you are a family run business, like not just for namesake, you are like family that run a business together. which I just love. And I think it's such a unique relationship. And how do you feel about that, Beth? Like working with Mel's parents?
Yeah, it's nice. I don't think I could work with my parents. No, it is really nice. And like Mel said, we can have the conversations that we need to have. And yeah, it just works from the beginning, doesn't it?
Sometimes I think it's quite nice to tell clients it's a family-run business. I think they take a little bit of comfort away in that, in the sense that, you know, oh, we can put even more trust in this business. And, you know, a lot of them have commented, haven't they, saying, oh, it's so lovely that it's family-run. So, yeah, I think that in itself is quite nice.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it just comes across so much more trustworthy. And yeah, you've involved your family with this, so it's dear to you. So I think 100% is something that should be celebrated. It's something that should be marketed and shared with your audience and your clients as well. However, since we've been working together in the mastermind, you guys were working a lot in the business, and that's incredible. And you got it to a certain point. And I personally believe you've had a record month because of the team that are not your family members that you've started to build out around you. So tell us a little bit about that process, because you're now expanding the team beyond mum and dad, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got 3 stagers now that work with us. So one in the north that we've had for a couple of weeks, and she's brilliant, and she's just really taken to it, and she'll kind of just go off and do it herself. And then yesterday or the day before, we were doing training with 2 new stagers down south as well. So it's really nice to have, you always say, pockets of teams kind of everywhere now. So we were doing the training with the stagers, and a job was going on elsewhere, wasn't it? We've got some new van drivers and flat pack teams. That was going on completely at a different time. It's incredible, really.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show the power of investment. Obviously, everything that you've taught us, you know, put your resources, your time, your effort into building something around yourself. Obviously, we need to be out of the business. And it really has paid off. You know, like I say, we're not stretching ourselves over, you know, different jobs. We can literally just send a team off here, there.
Yeah, well, people are doing what they're good at. So we kind of had everyone going to one place and everyone going to the next place. And your dad, once he'd kind of done all his unloading and helping the building and things, he was kind of like, right, well, what am I doing now? Well, someone's doing the nice bit at the end. So
it honestly just flows so much better. So yeah, obviously I've got the mastermind and yourself and everything to thank for that. It's really helped.
We knew a long time ago that's where we wanted to be. We've just struggled to
get there.
How to get there. Yeah.
Well, you're here now. You've got the team in it. I think you actually said that one day you're out of the country and there's stages. And I know how that feels. It's like one of the best feelings in the world, right?
Yeah, it was scary. It was the first one that was happening without us, and we could book it whilst we're away, which was perfect. So we had the guys did all the furniture. We had someone doing some decorating, and then our stager for the North went up to Scotland and did all the dressing at the end. And we were like, well,
I mean, talk about being removed. We were literally in a different country. On like standby next to the phone, but it never rang once. It just ran so seamlessly. And like I say, the lady we've got in the north doing the staging, she's just taken to it so well, hasn't she? That's obviously made the process a lot easier. It was always nerve-wracking letting go and, you know, standing back, but it works, doesn't it?
I love that. You're now like properly CEOs of the business, like when you can leave and it doesn't burn down without you. And it's like, that's where everyone wants to get to in their business, right? Because a lot of the time we launch a business and we think, oh, I'm going to have so much freedom and I'm going to have so much more time. And actually, for a real long while, it's the absolute opposite, because you're working your ass off to make the business work. But you guys are now like at the point you're starting to reap a little bit of the benefits of having built this company around you.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It gives us flexibility to prioritise our time in a lot better way and direction, doesn't it, than where we were before? Yeah. So that in itself is a benefit. Yeah, because we got to the point where we're kind of turning down meetings because we didn't have the capacity to hold them, which would have brought new business in, whereas now we've got the opportunity to do so, yeah.
Yeah, it's so key that both of your focus, even though like I know that you guys love the roles that you had, I know that Mel, you love doing the creative side, but as a business owner, you need to sometimes move away from those parts and outsource them. And now you've hit this record month revenue of 70,000 halfway through the month. I want to ask you, like, what do you think the secret to this month was over any of the other months? Like, over anything else, what was the one that made this like a winner?
Yeah,
I don't think it's coincidence. I think it's exactly what you said. I truly believe it's the investment that we've made in the business, such as taking on, the stages that we've got. I know the Northern lady, she's up and running. She's been with us about 3 or 4 weeks now. She's done quite a lot of work as well. But I truly believe it's that time management, that resource, everything that you kind of introducing into it has just contributed to, the growth and the turnover that we're seeing this month. It's not coincidence.
Being out of it enough to deal with all the inquiries that are coming in and have the meetings and build things up. Yeah, definitely.
It's just effective time management.
Yeah, it's so powerful, right? And I hear this a lot when like I'm working with people and they're like, I invested in this and then all of a sudden things started to happen. And it's like, yes, because number one, of course, you consistently, everything I've said, guys, implement this. You two guys are just the fastest implementers I've met, which I love. You remind me of me when I have a coach or like do this and by like 5 p.m. it's done. So it's like consistent implementation of do this, you don't think about it, you don't think about the fears, you just implement. But then it's also that what I would say is like signaling to the world that you're ready for that next level. It's like breaking through that upper limit, investing in yourself and investing in your business says to the world, like, I'm ready for more. Like, bring it to me, give it to me, and just those vibes that you're putting out. And that might sound quite woo-woo, but it seems to be what happens. So I'm going to keep rolling with it. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I think so.
I think so too.
And what I love about your business is I would say your main marketing strategy is referrals. We've discussed this. I think your main marketing strategy is people referring you or coming back for repeat business. And that might sound like, well, that makes sense. But actually, most businesses in the world, that's not their source of repeat business. But for you guys, that's how you keep bringing in client after client as well as social media. What would you say your secret has been in that with the referrals? Do you ask for them or is it genuinely because your clients are so delighted?
We've never really asked for it. A couple of people that have been really happy, we've just kind of said, well, you can leave us a review, but it's never really been this. No, absolutely. It's people recommending us to other people. And like you say, coming back, we've kind of, I was going to say lucky then. We've worked to get to the point where we work with a certain amount of clients where they've got multiple properties. Obviously, we've had to do the first couple really well for them to trust us to do the rest. Yeah. But it's just been. It's
establishing a reputation, isn't it? We don't take it for granted 1 second. I'm not like Beth said, it's not luck as such that we're doing it by word of mouth. We've worked very hard to get to where we get to. But yeah, we're certainly grateful that we've got these relationships established with certain clients that brings in that repeat business. And because of that, we're all finding ourselves busy with a bit of a pipeline ahead of us. And therefore, we've not really had to look for alternative marketing tools as such. Yeah. But it's like what the mastermind teaches us, certain social media algorithms, etc., posting the videos, sharing a little bit of personal insight into our lives, our relationship. I truly believe that's helped as well. It allows people to kind of get to know us a little bit. And honestly, it's not comfortable doing the live videos at all. I'll be the first one to say I've stopped and started the camera about 20 times to try and get the right footage. But yeah, I truly believe it's a powerful tool, and that's everything that the mastermind taught us as well.
You like talking, it's fine.
But yeah, like guys, you put yourself outside your comfort zone, right? You didn't want to get on camera. To be honest, I don't know one human being who does like one day just think, I want to record myself, I want to be on Instagram or on Facebook. It's not something that's that natural to most of us. But once again, you see the benefit in it, so you do it, right? Because I would say that that's both of your mindset is like, well, anything for the growth of the business. Yeah. And that's the mindset that I think every single person has to employ rather than sitting in the fear, not taking action. And I'm sure that once you've done it, it was a whole lot easier to do it again, wasn't it?
It was. It's just that, it's like with everything, the first hurdle, just doing it once, posting it once. But we can really see, even just when we look on the inside, that racks up the most views. So it really is a powerful tool. And it's something that's so simple, anyone can kind of jump on and do it. So yeah, it's just taking that leap of faith, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I know what's next for you guys is in terms of, I really want to help you build your personal brand, both of you jointly and also in your own right, because I know that is going to like just take the business to that next level once again, is to really build a brand around what you're now 2 incredible CEOs in your business. What do you feel like your next steps for the business are? Like, where are you going? And like, what is the big vision? Like, what is on your vision board, ladies?
Just keep it growing as it is, like you said, focusing on bits of our brand as well and kind of building that side of things, be able to hopefully do other things whilst Signature is hopefully one day completely running itself, and let us do new things and exciting things.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly that. Build on everything that we've already got, obviously continuing to learn every single day and implementing as much as we can. So the little teams that we've got up and down the country now, we want to keep growing those. And within that, obviously, creates more opportunities, more lines of work. And hopefully it just continues to go in the right direction.
And I would say definitely on track for 7 figures then, especially this year. I think you could maybe hit that mark if you keep pushing like you did this month.
Hopefully, that's the dream.
That would be the dream, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Because it's like you need something like it's between like 90 and 100,000 run rate each month in order to hit that 7-figure mark at the end of the year. And if you're hitting this in July and August can actually be like kind of strange times in the year for home staging. Just because the summer holidays as they pop up and people, take breaks. So I feel like if you're hitting this in July, then we're going to see some very exciting results near the end of the year in terms of revenue.
Hopefully. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we're very excited to see where it takes us, aren't we?
Well, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, what an amazing duo, business, family. I love it all. I think your story is going to inspire so many people here in the Facebook group.